Surprise, friends, here we are. Just wanted to give you a little taste of what my view is. I made it safely after traveling what felt like forever. I am here in Brazil. I'm sorry, I'm squinting because the sun is right in my eyes. I made it safely. Praise God. Thank you for those of you who said a prayer for me. And yes, I am wearing the same outfit because they literally was just able to get me in my room. I arrived here in Rio de Janeiro at 6 something this morning between getting through, customs and having the taxi and everything. And they didn't have my room ready right away. But I tell you, I'm faithful to you. I am going to jump in the shower, get dressed, relax, hit the beach. But I wanted to make sure that I gave you a verse to cover you for today as we're still talking about faith. And let me see if I could I could do the video and get the water in the background. There we go. Our verse of today comes from Matthew 21:22. And it says, if you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer. A continuation of what we talked a little about yesterday in terms of really having that faith and believing what it is that you're asking for. And in faith, now I really want to emphasize, and I talk about this all the time, we're not saying that God is an ATM machine. Because how many things in life have you asked for, and really when you reflect on it today, you're glad that God didn't answer those prayers, right? Because in the end, he knows what is best. But for those things that we are using this opportunity to go deeper in our faith on, we don't want to just say it just to say it. We don't want to say it just to check the box. We want to say it and to believe it in faith. Many of you might be praying again on things that God has already promised. I know I am. And somewhere along the line, because it took longer than you thought it should have, you gave up. You stopped believing. And if you're going to bring to God half-hearted, non-believing prayers, then that's not walking in faith. Then he can't bring to light in your life those things that you don't even believe. Now, I believe that is different from God blowing your mind, because I'll tell you, God's been blowing my mind since I think like about August. Now I've been going through, good and bad and everything in between, but he's been blowing my mind. But the reason that he's been blowing my mind, because it's got to a point that certain things I just rested it in faith to him. And I trusted that God, if this is the way it's going to move, I trust that only you can do it. And I released it. And I will tell you that every time I released it is when he came back and he blew my mind. Not that I had given up, but I had fully released it because I trust him so much. And I'm walking in faith that I trusted that if the door didn't open, then I trust that it's not the right door. And that's a different level of faith. If I had applied for a job opportunity, which had happened earlier this year, and I had really thought, okay, this was something great, and that door didn't open, but I had released it to him, and then guess what? He ended up giving me something that was greater than what I thought I wanted to begin with. But in faith, I had released to him that whether the door opened or the door closed, I still trust him because I know that he knows what's best. So as you look over your list, as you're going deep in faith, let us make sure that we are also releasing rigid control, and that we're saying, God, in faith, I'm asking you for these things. I'm asking you that you turn around my employment situation, my marriage, my relationship with my mom, my dad, whatever it is that you're asking for, allow a new relationship to come into my life, allow me to meet better quality potential partners, whatever the case is. But we're still turning it over to God, because when you turn something over to someone, it means that you're fully walking in faith. Listen, every time we get into a plane, we're turning it over to the pilot, and we're trusting that that pilot is going to get us there safely. I traveled across 2 different countries to get to my final destination, I got on trusting that I was going to get there. There might have been some bumps along the road, but I trusted I was going to get there. Let's do the same thing for God. That we're going to believe him deeply, but there's a level of faith when you can take your hands off of it and say, any which way you bless me, God, I'll be satisfied. So stay encouraged, friends. And yes, I'll continue to bring you the daily message from Brazil. All right, stay encouraged, my friends. And I'll talk to you soon.